I told you sexy historical. I'm Ben Franklin.
Man whore does not equal sexy.
Au contraire, my friend.
Do you find this sexy?
Ben Franklin, very sexy.
Okay. So we're in the pumpkin patch, we're drinking pumpkin beers, blah blah blah, Pumpktoberfest beer.
Yes, beer.
This
beer.
No, this will not do.
Yes, no, it's perfect.
Is that
It will do wonders.
No, well, I mean, all right. So I don't have historical accuracy in regards to this costume. You might also notice I'm not actually balding, but
Where's your kite?
beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy, and therefore I think we should drink.
I'm sorry you had to be here for this.
I'm not sorry at all.
He feels bad.
I'm just happy to be here, honestly, because right down the hall, right down there. You know, the second time I've been on the show. I mean, I am a full-fledged member of this household. I pay rent, and yet despite paying rent, I am not represented on your show.
Funny you should mention representation. I think in
Very
honor
funny.
of Kyle. I think in honor of Kyle and his place in this apartment and his lack of representation.
And the fact that I am from Washington, D.C. originally.
Yes. Well, I think we should start with fermentation without representation from a DC brow. And
Yes.
then, because of Poor Richard's Almanac, we should break out our other almanac here.
Another almanac.
And, you know, just because of who it was, and we haven't gotten to him yet, break out a little Sam Adams to really class his joint up.
It's time.
The overrated other Adams in the
Yeah.
American Revolution.
Why does he look like Paul Revere?
Because that is Paul Revere.
You're right. You can't even get your founding father straight?
See, that's sexy historical. Paul Revere.
He did have a chin. He definitely had a chin. You know.
Oh, please. John Hancock was where it was at. Everyone knows that.
His penmanship was legendary.
And
Like
very
a
large.
nice penmanship.
You should see his grave. It's hilarious.
Pumpkin patch show.
Samuel Adams Harvest Pumpkin Ale. I guess it's about time we finally got around to this one. It's not another corporate beer, but it may as well be.
Yeah, Sam Adams is in that weird place of being the largest of the technical craft brewers while still being so much smaller than Anheim's or Busch, but it's kind of everywhere. There is debate whether it still should be considered a craft beer or if it's just, you know, straight up too big for that anymore.
But does that bigness necessarily mean lesser quality?
I disagree. I think a lot of their smaller batch stuff in the large bottles makes some really good beer, but not sure how I'm feeling about this Harvest Pumpkin Ale.
The early New England colonists were nothing if not resourceful. Lacking traditional malts, they added pumpkin to their brews, and the first pumpkin ales were born, which we know is a historical American thing. So our adaptation uses a blend of caramel and roasted malts along with real pumpkin to create a rich depth of flavor and unmistakable character. Cheers!
Man, that's Sam Adams, you guys. He was terrible with money and an awful publican, but by God, could he get a riotous mob going.
5.7% ABV, so it's not going to get us that riotous. Ooh, it's a
I don't know.
dark
Depends
color.
on how much we drink of it.
That's dark for a kind of basic ale.
Yeah. It's got a very like as in the baking stuff, scent off the top.
Wheaty?
Yeah.
Not even weedy, like that uncooked flour. Like dough. It has a doughy smell to me.
It smells like Boston Harbor.
Is that with or without the tea?
With very hoppy tea. If that's a thing.
How do Americans make their tea, my friend?
With harbors.
By throwing it in the
In the
harbor.
harbor.
It's a great one. Tumblr is fantastic. You know Franklin would love Tumblr. He wouldn't post anything on it because that would just be incriminating, but he would love it.
So that has some flavor. You know, going back to the Blue Moon and the Shock Top and the other sort of really basic shelf grocery store pumpkin ales that you're going to find, I can taste the pumpkin, I can taste the spices. It's not my favorite of the ones we tried, it's a bit thin.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, you can taste the regular Sam Adams Boston Lager underneath it.
But this is an ale, not a lager.
But you can still taste their usual underneath it.
So depending on whether you like Sam Adams or not, this would probably
Yeah.
shape how you feel about it.
You know, it's kind of reminding me on the same level as that Blue Point we had, where, you know, it's having the same flavor profile as their main beer, So obviously they're not doing anything really crazy or fancy with it, but it's a solid drink. I mean, but nothing fancy. And definitely, if you can get your hands on some of the others we've tried, go for those instead.
But this is tasty. I would drink this. I would buy this again if it was available, because it's always available.
I know.
You know, over the other ones that are always available, like Blue Moon Pumpkin, Shock Top Pumpkin, you know, maybe not Blue Point, but
No, yeah. I mean, this is
kind of on par with Blue Point, I'd say.
this is definitely walking to a bar, and you know, if this is one of the few on tap, you'd get it.
Yeah, this you'd pick over the others.
Bartender, I'll have a Sam Jackson.
Pumpkin Patch Show.
Almanac Farm to Barrel Series Heirloom Pumpkin. So this is the second almanac we've tried. This one is 50% ale brewed with pumpkins and aged in rye and brandy barrels, and 50% ale brewed with spices. So we took the pumpkin ale and the spice ale and just poured them together like a slurry. This one is 12% alcohol by volume, so even stronger than the last almanac we tried.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well then.
So the last almanac we had was a dark sour. This is much lighter.
Yeah.
So we got a nice orange color,
Yeah.
but it's cloudy. I cannot see you through this.
Oh yeah.
Really strong scent.
Yeah.
It smells like goldfish crackers.
Yeah, it smells like orange, like artificial orange flavor.
Yeah. Huh. This is. It kind of has a little bit of a sour going on. With
Yeah, there's something sour. Is that the rye and brandy barrels I'm tasting?
Really strong citrusy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that's what's throwing it for the loop, but maybe it's the brewing the pumpkin and the spice separate and then mixing it later.
Because the last almanac we had was a sour, and that
Yeah.
one just tasted like sour apples. But this one, it's a more of a zest than a sour.
Yeah. It's got a wonderful smell coming off of it, but between that and the taste, I don't know if I'm tasting pumpkin though.
Tasting spices, but it's definitely more on the gingery, zesty side of spices than the warm, cinnamony spices.
Yeah.
It's pretty far from pumpkin just as a flavor, so everything else in there is overpowering the actual pumpkin.
I feel like, did you bake some pumpkins with like lemon juice? Is that what you were going for?
But
Like a pumpkin curry or something.
for a 12% ABV beer, though, this is pretty tasty. I mean, that's high up there. Usually that
Yeah.
strength in ABV kind of makes it taste too strong to be, you know,
Yeah.
sweet and tasty, but it is pretty
I mean,
tasty.
it's very interesting. It's quite delicious. I don't know if I could recommend it as a pumpkin ale.
This is a beer made with real pumpkins. We hand roasted over 1,000 pounds of heirloom pumpkins from the Tessera Farms in Bodega Bay. The caramelized gourds were then added to our velvety American barley wine style ale and aged in rye and brandy barrels for a year. Finally, we blended the barrel-aged beer brusquely with
Is
freshly
that APV getting to you?
with freshly brewed ale and added a hint of pumpkin pie spices to round out this decadent autumn sipper. Sipper.
I mean, it definitely has that barley wine
Yeah.
essence to it.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't want a whole pint of this. You have this in a
Like a 10
like a
ounce.
snifter or something.
Yeah, it's like an aperitif almost. It's like so flavorful and almost kind of sweet in a weird way.
Yeah, this would be feel like this would be a very difficult one to pair outside of your traditional fruit and cheeses. Although I bet this would do really well if you did like a sharp cheese with a drizzle of honey on top. Oh, that would taste so good.
What would Ben Franklin say about this?
Are you wearing age makeup?
I think he would say, let's keep drinking.
Pumpkin Patch Show.
Epic Brewing, DC Brow, fermentation without representation, Imperial Pumpkin Porter. This is a porter brewed with pumpkin and spices. But what is this? It's a collaboration brew. Brewed and bottled by Epic Brewing Company, Salt Lake City, Utah?
Utah?
Denver, Colorado?
Zunes!
Is this from DC
What are
or
those?
not?
According to their website,
What's Colorado?
the Spanish own it. Then they didn't anymore.
Oh.
This was brought to us from DC by our good friend Alessandra Dreyer, so I thought it was from DC. You're from DC, you tell us things.
Well, according to their website, they do brew this within the city limits, and it's available citywide and in the outskirts as well. Like in my old college town. I went to the University of Maryland, right in College Park. In Hyattsville, if you go to Franklin's, you can probably get it there. That's a nice little local. That was a total coincidence.
I didn't plan it, but
Okay.
I'm sure glad it happened.
But this is a local brew in DC, so if you're there, check it out.
It says, you're holding something special. One of only a few thousand bottles released. Intrigued? Go to our website.
So it's like a limited edition comic.
It's 8.4% ABV, so not as strong as the last one.
I
but
really hate this bottle opener, by the way.
Ooh, dark.
It's
Yeah.
a porter.
Well, I don't do it.
I'll be the first to admit this. DC, not known for its culture. It's not designed to be a city of
Funny
culture.
that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is sweet,
Guys.
creamy.
Guys, vanilla cupcakes.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
Oh, that's smooth. It's real smooth. We have some good friends down in DC.
Alright, I'm gonna have to say this right now. This is reminding me of the Breckenridge Vanilla Porter.
Tastes like a vanilla latte.
Yeah.
Because it's got that portery coffeeness to it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that cinnamon spice, I think, which is giving it kind of a sweet cappuccino type flavor, but pumpkins?
Yeah. No, the vanilla is too overwhelming.
I don't even know that there is vanilla in this. That might just be the sweetness from the fruit.
It could very well be, but the thing is it's giving a vanilla flavor and odor and all that fun stuff.
Pumpkins do amazing things.
I mean, it's really good. I'm quite enjoying it. It's just I can't recommend this as a pumpkin.
And just recommend it as a drink, because this...
It's,
This is probably one of the nicest beers we've tried.
yeah, definitely.
As a beer. And this is coming from someone who usually doesn't like dark beers. This is a good beer.
This is delightful.
And whatever the pumpkins are doing in this, they're doing it well, even though I can't taste them. I'm sure they're contributing to this niceness somehow.
It's weird. Not what I was expecting at all. But yeah, vanilla cupcakes. Delicious vanilla cupcakes. But vanilla cupcakes all the same. Well then.
Oh, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite of the three.
So definitely pie?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a pumpkin beer that tastes like pumpkins with spices, Sam Adams is probably
Of the three.
of these three. That's gonna be your classic pumpkin spice beer. But if you want just a damn good beer, this is
That
it.
has nothing to do with pumpkins. In theory. Yeah, this one. Go for it. Find it. DC.
Fermentation without representation. I mean, who wasn't represented? Because whoever that wasn't represented, they should keep not being represented.
Yeah.
Screw them.
Obviously, it's the pumpkins aren't represented. They're there, but they're not allowed to have a say in this.
That's profound.
Well, I have been, frankly. It's kind of goes
You
with
are
the
a very
mood.
quotable personage.
You do speak in nothing but witticisms.
Mm-hmm. I sing as well, according to the musical 1776.
We're waiting for the chirp,
Chirp,
chirp of an eaglet being born. Waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. And God knows that it's hot enough to hatch a stone, let alone.
Pumpkins, 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 pumpkins.
We didn't get to talk about my costume.
Oh yes, what are you this time?
I am going as an image on a video screen, flashed before you at 30 frames a second.
That's profound.
29.97.
Well done.
Damn it! You saw through my disguise.
That's not a costume, that's what you actually are.
Yes, in real life as well, as far as you know.
Well, well, well. Guests like fish stink after 3 beers. So I should probably head on out.
You are wearing a lot of clothes.
It's kind of really hot in here, you guys. And this wig is killing me.
Oh, that's a wig?
That's not your head?